should be... There we go. Now we're live. Hello everybody and welcome to the stream. Wait a second here for some peeps to come trickle on in. But yeah, hope you guys are having a good one. We'll be going ahead and working on the Ticonderoga, specifically USS Bunker Hill. So, should be pretty exciting. How you doing, Joseph? Appreciate you stopping by. How you doing, Dutch Storm Pioneer? Eventually I'm going to pronounce that pretty decently. How you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by. Tanfall, good to see you, man. Welcome to the stream. As the title said, today we're going to be going ahead and working on the Ticonderoga USS Bunker Hill. So, if you guys saw my recent video that I just did for the Oliver Hazard Perry, this right here is basically the continuation of my modern ships. And yeah, we have the USS Bunker Hill, which was the first of the Ticonderogas to have the VLS, the vertical launch system. So I think it's the best looking version of the Tico in my opinion, and also the most combat capable. But yeah, we're going to be going ahead and working on just building a little bit on it. So probably build for a couple hours. Don't think we're going to finish it, but I think they originally had him classed as a frigate, but then they ended up changing it to a guided missile cruiser, so it changed to the designation CG, if I remember correctly. Yeah, thank you. It's coming together pretty good so far. Actually, I built all this just yesterday, so I was pretty happy with the progress on it so far. Obviously, still a lot more left to do. Let me adjust my chair here. But yeah, it's kind of nice. Getting some snow right now, so figured I would go ahead and pop on the stream and go ahead and start building a little bit. So, but yeah, so the Tyco is really weird. It's got a really weird back section here where everything's just off center and just weird. I love the Ticonderoga, but man, is it a weird ship to build. It is just very, very bad. Love the pixel art. Yeah, I have there's a generator online I use. I just upload the picture to it and basically use that to kind of help space out stuff. It's actually really good technique to kind of get the proportions right and get stuff where they should be. I'm almost at the point though where I could probably just delete it. And honestly, I probably could right now because I kind of have everything major built. So, you got some sleet. Well, that's pretty awesome. I think we're supposed to have snow for the next few hours, and then it's supposed to be kind of a mix, and then like some freezing rain. So that's going to probably be pretty awful. I think they're expecting power outages and stuff like that due to the freezing rain. So definitely not looking forward to that. But you know, shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, the Ticonderoga is a cool ship, man. It's why I chose to build it next. I think it's pretty awesome cruiser. Kind of sad that they're going away, but with the newer ships they have coming out and all that stuff, that new Constellation class that's supposed to take over. You know, they're just kind of already outdated. So snow over here is melting. Yeah, it's probably gonna melt pretty quick over here too, but it is not a bad thing. I think our biggest problem is gonna be the rain that we're supposed to have, the freezing rain tonight and all that. So the freezing rain and all that's gonna probably freeze roads over and cause a lot of problems, but we shall see. I am not gonna be going anywhere, so it should be fun to see the idiots that try to drive in it. So that's gonna be our flight deck there, and I think over here as well, it's gonna set in right about here. So just gonna go ahead and pull this up like that. I think my next ship after this is gonna be, yeah, North Carolina. I think my next ship after this one is probably gonna be a Soviet one, and I'm trying to figure out which one I want to do. There's quite a few really nice Soviet ones, but I'm not sure. Yep. Hey, it's been a while. How you doing, Patriot? Appreciate you stopping by the stream, man. Usually more of a fan of assault cruisers, fictional class. I think me and my friend made up basically a destroyer with amphibious landing craft stored near water surface environment. Oh, that's pretty interesting. That'd be kind of an interesting concept. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised the U.S. Navy doesn't move toward, more, stuff like that. But at the same time, I guess, they have those dedicated wasp ships and all that stuff. So at that point, what's the point of having like the capability on a destroyer? It would be cool though. It'd be kind of cool to see a bunch of stuff deploy out of the back of like an Arleigh or something like that. But it looks great. Thanks so much, man. Still have a lot of detail left to do. I kind of like skimmed over this whole area right here for the detail. I did this side pretty well. I think this side's pretty much done here. There's a little bit of detail I need to do on the bottom there, but for the most part, it's coming together pretty good. This is all looking good and all that stuff. So, made for naval invasion support to establish sea, air, and ground supporting for effective beachhead invasions. Yeah. Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, you need a combined fleet to really have that superiority anyway, so I kind of get, like, why they probably don't have that, Plus, you're on a destroyer and stuff like that. You're not going to be able to fit as much stuff as you could with, like, a Wasp class and all that stuff coming in and bringing its complement that it has. Reference pictures for this back section for this model. Not a whole lot. Okay, that's fine. If you made these tutorials, that'd be cool. Yeah, it would be cool, but I'm never gonna do tutorials for these. They're too complicated and they're just too much work. I think MC Military Force did a tutorial for a Ticonderoga that somebody built, and that was like a 5-part video series, and like I think at least it had to have been a decent chunk of time to build. I mean, I'd say at least 3 hours worth of tutorial time. That's not including all the recording time, but also that ship too is not as detailed as this one, so it would be really rough to see, like, to do like the amount of detail I have on this and all that. But yeah, unfortunately, there are going to be downloads for it, so I will be putting it up for download for free and all that. I know not everybody has the ability to just download the worlds and stuff, which kind of sucks, but that's really kind of the best I can do. Basically, the the builds are 3D viewable, so if you go on Planet Minecraft, where I've been posting these for download, you can actually see the 3D view of it, and you can actually build it from that if you really wanted to. Obviously, it's not ideal, but there's at least options, But just for me and the time's sake, and how long it takes me to make these builds, and then try to do videos on top of that, and then with my normal schedule, it's just too much. Now, if I had somebody that would just make these tutorials or something like that on the side, and somebody wanted to do it, then have at it. But yeah, there's just no way. Yeah, but it doesn't have a draft. Can't wait for the Nimitz by him. Yeah. Oh, the Tico doesn't have a draft? Really? That's kind of strange. So yeah, that would even probably add, another extra hour, because I feel like the draft's one of the harder parts to follow. How you doing, LR? Thanks so much for stopping by, man. Yeah, that's weird then. That's weird that you would do a ship and not do the draft, because I feel like that's kind of like an important part of it. If I were to do a tutorial for this ship, obviously there would be some sort of draft or something like that. But yeah, that's just, I don't know. That's kind of lame for a tutorial standpoint. I wanted to get into a Air Force hobby. What kind of hobby is an Air Force hobby? Is that like flying, or like making models or something like that? Let's see. Slash set, cobbled, deep slates. There we go. We'll do the same thing right here. Boom, good to go. I buy a jet simulator. Oh, okay. I've seen those. There's some pretty crazy simulators. Some of them are pretty realistic. I think I saw a video a while back of like the A10 like in DCS or something like that in like the cockpit, and like seeing the inside of it was absolutely crazy. Cause I've been in the inside of the cockpit of an A10, and it's pretty dang accurate. It's crazy. But yeah, like the crazy simulators where like stuff actually moves and all that. It's crazy the amount of money people put into it. But I do know there are some fighter pilots that, you know, they do buy their own simulators and stuff like that and fly at home still. A Nimbus class boat. I would say it's more of a ship, a giant ship, than a boat. But I definitely would like to. It's on my list to kind of work up toward. I don't think I'm really ready for modern carriers, just because they have the very complex hull lines, especially with the hurricane bow. I think they're one of the hardest things to really capture properly. So I'm kind of holding off on that for a little bit. Eventually, I know it's something I'm going to do, but I just want to kind of harness my ability with shipbuilding a little bit more, and then work into it, you know. I've been getting into Russian combat kit recently, and wow, it's expensive, so I won't buy it for a while. Yeah, I'm sure. Stuff is expensive. Hobbies are expensive. As you can tell by the Legos behind me, that's just a fraction of my collection, and yeah, it's expensive. I actually get my my Lego order that I just made with Christmas money tomorrow, so that should be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. So I'll have some Legos to hopefully build tomorrow, even though I still have a bunch I still need to catch up on, 'cause I'm so far behind on sets. Yeah, the Legos ain't cheap, man, but eventually they'll be like worth gold, I think. I mean, you see how much sets go for now, like the old retired sets and all that stuff, so I can only imagine it's just gonna go up in value, you know? But I could be wrong. And that would kind of suck. Let's see, I'm gonna bring this row all in by one, because I think I want to keep the space of 3 on the sides. Boom, so just like that. And then I'll just go ahead and delete this right here altogether. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's go back up here and boom, we'll cut this so it looks like that. And that should be a little bit better, because I kind of want a little bit of a thicker platform here. Not too much, but just enough. So we'll take this back. This is pretty crazy about those wildfires over there in California. I've been kind of following it a little bit, and man, it's just crazy. Crazy how bad it is over there. I actually, I'm from California, more Southern California, but, you know, still, you know, California and Southern California area. So I get wildfires. I mean, I experienced plenty of them growing up as a kid, and it's definitely, I've never seen anything like this where it just, you know, completely burns down neighborhoods and stuff. Pretty crazy. Those two teenagers. I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen some reports that there's suspected arson. And if that's the case, man, that's just even worse, you know? Because the worst thing was like the conditions are like the absolute worst you could probably ever have, you know, like the crazy winds and all that, and then on top of that you add, you know, arson. It's just a recipe for disaster at that point. Using a links with a fire. Last stream was fire, and the stream, thanks man, I appreciate you. Glad you enjoy the streams. As long as people keep enjoying them, I'll keep doing them. Oh yeah, I hope they get arrested. I mean, the problem is that if they're not 18, they probably won't be trialed as adults, and they'll probably just get a little slap on the wrist. I also feel like California is real lax when it comes to any sort of judicial punishment. But I don't know. We'll see. I think it's still up in the air on whether or not it was arson or, you know, something else. So I guess time will just tell if we, you know, actually something comes from it. Either way, though, it's bad. It's real bad. And then the fact that the winds that they had going on, and they were it was just blowing the embers and all that. Because I remember growing up, we had some really bad fires. I think back in like 2007 in Southern California, and I still vividly remember as a kid, you know, the school was canceled because the fire was so bad, and the sky was orange. It was literally like the orange, like off of actually like the fruit, the orange. It was crazy, and it was just ashy, and there's like a layer of ash on everything. And you know, later that night, you know, you could go outside, you can see the fire, like the actual flames. They were that big, like way, way, way off in the distance on the mountain, actually burning. It was pretty insane. But it did kill people. If what they did kill people, yeah, they'll get tried like adults. I hope so, man. They really do. I am using Java, yeah. Yeah, I play on Java. That's why I got the magic wizard tools and all that stuff. So definitely is not something you're going to see in standard Minecraft, unfortunately. So that's looking pretty good there. Kind of want to get this funnel section finished up before I go ahead and continue too far. So let me go ahead and pull up a reference here again for this. There we go, and I can start building this section. Do you play on computer? I do, yes. How you doing, Prime? Thanks for stopping by, man. Autocorrecting isn't autocorrecting. Autocorrect never works, man. Or it works, but it does exactly what you don't want it to do. There we go. Trying to see what to get. Java Edition? Yeah, Java Edition's where it's at, man. Once you go with Java, you'll never go back to Bedrock or anything like that, because I used to be one of the hardcore console players, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm never gonna go to PC or anything like that. And I bought it and played it and was like, all right, yeah, okay. I'm never going back to console. Which computer? My computer's kind of a Frankenstein. I have 32 gigs of RAM, DDR4. I have a Intel i9 processor, I think 6400K or 6700K, I can't remember the exact one. And then there's a RTX 2080 Super in here. I really need to upgrade my graphics card. I think at this point it's kind of outdated, but as of stuff, that's pretty much what I have, and that's what I've been running for a long time, actually. I think this is supposed to be higher. Is that gonna be enough for? I think that'd be more than enough to have that hanger on the back there. I'll have to see. Might have to play around with that a little bit, because it shows on the picture over here that this platform right here should be like 2 blocks taller, which theoretically I could do. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and raise this. As much as I don't really want to, I think I need to do it. So the 1-to-1, that's a challenge itself. You want to do a 3-to-1 scale Titanic, but I'm on console. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough do, man. Even the 1-to-1, like the other guy said there, it's gonna be a tough build, man. Ships also aren't like the easiest thing to build. They can be pretty tricky. They're fun, but dang, can they be complex sometimes. You did the 1-to-1 Mauritania. I'm not familiar with that ship. Is like a definitely probably sounds like a civilian liner or something of that sort. But yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. So let's see. That sits a little higher there. I feel like I'm right. I'm gonna leave it as is. I think it's right there. I still think I have plenty of space back here to put the hangar in and all that, so I ain't really stressing too much. I think it should be fine. PC John Minecraft, it lags too much, I don't know. Yeah, you gotta have a pretty decent computer for Minecraft, believe it or not. If you want to run like anything cool on it, so like shaders and stuff like that. So, but trust me, like if I bump my shaders up to like maxed out settings or anything like that, it will also struggle quite a bit. So it definitely just depends on the hardware and all that stuff, making sure all your stuff's up to date. So Sister Louisiana. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, those ships are cool. It's just, you know, at the end of the day, I just love warships, man. I love warships. They are always so fun to build, in my opinion. Let's take this. Like, but props to the guys that like work on those like the really cool civilian liners and all that stuff. Like, I give them mad props, but not my thing. Did a ton of 111 ships, then my account got banned for a year. Dang, what'd you get banned for? Try saying some gamer words or something like that in chat. Start project never gets completed. Yeah, it's hard. That's why you gotta start small. You know, you can't just rush into huge projects, because that's typically what happens when you try rushing into things and you're not fully prepared for it. But it's also kind of the reason why I stopped doing the, or like my airbase is never fully finished and stuff like that. Because, I mean, you do get burnt out on big projects over time, or you just lose inspiration and move on to something different. So, it definitely does happen. A German tank commander profile picture. Who's that? Who are you talking about? You talking about yourself? Yeah, we're gonna take this, do that there, and then we'll have to build this wall up. So use our trapdoors again here. Get this built up. I'm gonna have to get rid of all this extra stuff I have here. Just get rid of all this. I copied over. German tank commander profile pic. Who, me? I think when you say there's a German tank commander profile picture, you're kind of saying like half my subscribers. Because I feel like every single one of them has some sort of German tank in their picture or commander. It's kind of funny, actually. Do this right here. Just gonna copy this over to the other side. Don't need to do anything too crazy here with that. So copy, flip, and paste. So there we go. And then we can just delete this right here. Just like that. From what I can tell, I'm the only one here, but with the tank commander, it's a soldier of the Flammenwolfe. Okay, well, close enough, you know, end of the day, you know, tank commander, man with Flammenwolfe, it's all the same, you know. I'm shopping right now, and I'm watching. Are you with your mom, like, shopping? Like you're like in a store right now watching my stream. I built a 5-to-1 scale Titanic and also 4-to-1 scale Wisconsin. Oh, that's pretty cool. I do want to build in Iowa. That is the goal. Because I'd really like to do an Iowa and a modern Midway and kind of put them together. I think there's a famous picture of one of the Iowa-class battleships and the Midway sailing together. Pretty close, and I thought that was always a really cool picture, just because it's like the last survivors of World War II, you know, sailing together or still in service. Gotta do all this right here with the walls. There we go, so that detailing there, that looks pretty good. And we'll just continue this flooring out here and do that. I hear Wisconsin might be brought back into service. No, I highly doubt it. I don't think the Navy has any reason to have it. Honestly, I was surprised that they even brought it back for when they did. Really, I think it was just to, you know, kind of shit on the Soviets a little bit, because they came out the Kirov battle cruiser, and they're like, oh, that's cute. Let's just bring 4 Iowas out of service to, just because we can. But yeah, I highly doubt that they would bring it back. It sounds like some kind of like dumb TikTok rumor or something that's being started. Because really, there's no point for the Iowas anymore in service. Like even when they brought them back, they didn't really have much purpose. I mean, they're cool as hell, don't get me wrong, but like, you know. I'll change my profile picture, goodbye. We'll see you later, Patriot. Go ahead, do this right here. But yeah, I wouldn't expect the Iowa to ever come back. It's like a pipe dream. There we go. That's pretty good there. I'm staying with the F-14 as my profile. Oh, okay. Gonna change it from the F-14. What is it gonna be? So we have that set up there. So that's looking pretty good. We have the big radar dish that's on the back here. And then we'll have to put that radar dish on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this one, because it looks like it's, honestly, it is exactly the same one that's over here. So I'll just copy this and paste that over there, instead of rebuilding it. Save a little bit of time. F-15 is always a good choice. Let's see. There we go. So something kind of like that is what I want here. Kind of fill that in. We got our radar on here now. Go ahead and fix these to be like that. And there we go. Russian soldier in Ratnik, I think. Okay. Fair enough. Let's see, we'll do this right here and put this on the back. So it kind of goes back like so. I got to figure out the supports on the bottom here, but probably honestly gonna have to just make them up, because I doubt I'm gonna find a good reference image for something like that underneath there. I feel like it sticks back a little too far, but it's alright. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, I could honestly move this forward maybe 2 blocks, and that wouldn't be such a bad thing. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just move this forward just a tiny bit. Daisies. I've never played Daisy. Never played it. But it doesn't seem like a bad game. I'm just not really a huge PvP guy. Pretty much I mainly only really play Minecraft and Helldivers right now, so if it's not one of those, I'm probably not playing it. I like my few games I play, and then I'm like, yep, that's it. I'm good. I am excited though for The Witcher 4. Really excited for that game. I love the Witcher series, so that would be pretty awesome. Custom, those are like you know, servers you can join, right? Like somebody creates a server and you can join in and participate on it and all that kind of stuff. They probably have like a server selector or something like that. Oh, okay, I got you. What's up, Plugged? How you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by, dude. Oh, this is not supposed to go up that high. It's supposed to be right about there. Let's look at a picture here of the hangar deck area and see. I think that's enough. That should be fine. I'm probably overreacting with the amount of space I have here, but that should be pretty good here, because our hangar, we don't need too much space. It's probably going to be about maybe a little bit taller than this one. This one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks tall. I think the Tico's got kind of a bigger hangar, or it definitely does have a bigger hangar. So I can go about 8. Actually, probably about 9. So I'll just kind of cut this here for our hangar. Actually, 1 less. And yeah, that looks about right. Should be able to work with that, no problem. Just take this and delete this real quick. I don't need that right there. So yeah, something kind of like that. That looks about right. By the way, the Oliver Hazard Parry looks amazing. Thanks so much, Patriot. I appreciate it, man. I am very happy with the way it came out. Bonus points or nothing. Just, you know, kudos if you guessed it right. I guess now, you know, everybody should know what it is, considering I've already said what we're building, and there's a picture of it and all that. So no more bonus points. These somewhere else on the build. I'm trying to think of where I did. Yeah, right there. So let's go ahead and do the same thing I did before. So just kind of like that right there, and then just like one in this corner here. So yeah, something kind of like that. And there's a ladder that goes up right here, it looks like. Right in this space, so add that right there. Where are my ladders? There we go. Yeah, once we get done with the superstructure in this area, like this ship's gonna go by real quick, because there really is not much on the back of this ship. We got the helipad, and then pretty much just the VLS system that's gonna be right here, and then just another gun that we just gotta copy and paste. So once we get the main kind of superstructure of this area done, like it's gonna be a pretty quick build. Set cobbled deep slates. So something kind of like that. And this hangar here, I gotta figure out how big this is actually gonna be. 8 blocks wide, honestly sounds about right. Probably can get away with 7. I think 7 would probably be about right. Yeah, I don't think we need anything too much bigger than that, honestly. Yeah, the Ticonderogas, they are getting retired. I think there's only 7 left in active status. But I'm pretty sure this ship here, the Bunker Hill, actually got retired back in 2023. But yeah, they're pretty much all going away. They're being replaced by the Constellation-Class that's supposed to be coming out. But I don't think there's really any kind of ETA on when that's supposed to be, so we're retiring the ships and we don't yet have the replacement actually out yet. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. It is how it goes, though. And I mean, to be fair, a lot of the Ticos are pretty old, so yeah, the new systems and all that stuff they want to put on warships, I understand it. It's sad, but it is. Yeah, I could buy U.S. cruisers, yeah. Going back to frigates and destroyers. Even though it's funny, though, is that the classifications are just hilarious. Because, like, this is a frigate. And, like, in World War II era, like, it's, like, the size of a light cruiser. Like, these are, like, light cruisers right here. It's, like, the size of those. I mean, it's even the size of an aircraft carrier. But, yeah, it's a frigate. But, yeah. It'll be interesting. I just want us to build ships with a bunch of big guns and just, you know, have these massive, fully capable ships. But now with the technology, you just don't need it, you know? You don't need these crazy capital ships anymore to you know, get the job done. They can just, you know, outfit these destroyers with weapon systems that have huge punches, but you know, you don't need to have as big of a ship to maintain and all that. So I get it from a logistical standpoint, but it still sucks because, you know, these big old cruisers and stuff like that are cool looking ships. But as it is the natural progression of ships, they serve their purpose and then thrown to the wayside. It'll be interesting to see if they, what the next destroyer will be, you know, if they decide to replace the Arleigh Burkes, but I feel like the Arleigh Burkes are one of those things that's probably going to be around for a very long time. Battleship era has already come to an end, and now it's the cruiser's turn. Yep. Unfortunately, it's just all small ships, you know? Like, the small ships can pack just as big of a punch now as the big ships could, you know? And it's also cheaper and easier to maintain smaller ships, so... Suggestion, maybe a World War II bomber. Yeah, I could probably look into building some more World War II bombers. IDK if it was a casual gamer, but do you remember me asking about the new Lancaster? I think I remember somebody asking about Lancaster. I haven't built a new one yet in 1.5:1. Because I think the current one I have is still on the 2:1 world. That's the 2:1 version. But I haven't done anything more with the Lancasters. Let's do this here. Take this around, build up this platform here, and then starting to kind of get this area rounded out a little bit how we like it. So yeah, it's looking pretty solid there. And then this one has some vents on it as well. The Tico has a lot of vents on it. It's one thing about this ship, a lot of ventilation. It kind of makes me curious how like the internal layout of this thing is, why they have so much ventilation and stuff like that around it. Let's see. take this back like that. Do our little magic with the walls there. We got our vent there. So that's all squared away. And then I'll put another one of these right here. And then another one here in this corner. Oops, not what I wanted to do. There we go. That's looking pretty decent. And this right here looks like it actually pops out a little bit. B-29 bomber. That's always a classic bomber. Very nice and sleek bomber for its time. I still personally think the B-17 is cooler, but the B-29 is impressive, especially if you get to see it in person. It's a pretty massive bomber. SU-27, yeah, that thing's gigantic. All Russian jets, they're just so deceptively huge for no reason. Like compared to US fighters, they are insanely big. Yeah, I don't know if they're just trying to compensate for something or what, but like, man, it's just crazy. No, I feel you. I'm American too, and I like Russian stuff. I think Russia makes some of the coolest military equipment. You know, I think the U.S. makes some of the better, some of the best, but I think Russia's stuff looks really cool. Like you can't look at like the big nuke trucks and tell me that doesn't look cool. You know, or like the T series of tanks, like they don't really miss. Like the T-72 on and up, like every single one of those tanks just looks so cool. You know, even with the cope cages and stuff, I mean, they do look pretty cool. You know, they're just nice ships. They're, you know, nice equipment. So I respect it. I think I've said multiple times I like Russian equipment. Some of my favorite. That's typically why I like the Russia and U.S. line in my worlds are always so big, is because I always want to build their stuff, and like especially their ships. Like I think Russian ships are just really freaking cool. One of the reasons why I want to build some of them is because they just pack so many armaments on them. They're like if World War II was still around, like kind of how it would be, you know, just as many armaments as they could possibly jam pack onto a ship or, you know, a vessel or anything like that. They just pack it on there. Even the Kiev-class aircraft carriers, they even have like VLS missile launchers on them. Like that's just crazy to me. I just love it, you know. Granted, I don't see the point of having VLS on a carrier, considering you can just have a strike group around it to support it. But hey, you know, the Russians do it, and it's cool. It is really cool. Yeah, the Kirovs are probably one of my favorites. I forget I think it's a Slava class. Was that what the Moskva was? I forget the exact class the Moskva was, but yeah, the Moskva, that class of ship is just really cool. I love that one. The Udaloys are really cool. Like I said, they hardly miss when it comes to their ship design. Most of their stuff's pretty awesome looking. Yeah, I mean, I think in the end of the day, American quality stuff is definitely a bit better than Russia. But yeah, Russia stuff's cool as hell, you know. Gotta give them credit where credit is due. They make cool looking vehicles. That's east. I have the MiG-29, the B-29, and not forget the B-17. Yeah, B-17 was one of my favorites growing up. The Pima Air and Space Museum in Tucson actually has a preserved B-17. It's like actually like kind of like a separate museum from the main one. Like it's still in the same museum, but like it's kind of kept by like this independent organization, I guess, that keeps it. And man, is it cool. It is such a cool ship, or a cool plane to see in person. But yeah, really, really cool. I think I talk about that museum a lot, but I really loved visiting that museum when I was living in Tucson. I'd never want to go back to Tucson, but I really did like it over there, and I did really like that museum. I think I'm going to keep this flat here. It shows an elevation right here, but I don't think it's worth to try to recreate. It's either going to involve me having to redo a bunch of stuff, or, you know, just leave it as it is, and we're going to leave it as is. It's like Kiev carried VTOL, only I think the Moskva was Slava. Yeah, no, I'm talking about the I'm talking about them differently. The Moskva, yeah, was Slava, and then, but the I think the Kiev's still cool. The Moskva's sadly gone, yeah. Gone but not forgotten. One of these days I will build a Slava class. Will it be Moskva? I'm not sure, but it just goes to show you though how crazy, you know, or how easy it is to take out these modern ships, you know. You get through their defenses and they're paper tigers pretty much, because the armor on them isn't like what, you know, it was in World War II, where, you know, you actually had to armor your ships and all that stuff, and now it's just, you know, oh, you know, slap some metal plating over it, and if it gets hit, you know, it's probably doomed. Hopefully it has a good active protective system. If not, then it's kind of screwed. But really, I don't know what's going to defend against missiles nowadays. You know, you're kind of out of luck when it comes to the modern day tech and taking stuff out. Thank you. Thank you, OR. Armor is better than nothing. That's true. I just don't know how good armor would hold up today, and like, you know, against missiles and stuff like that. I really don't know if it would make much difference. Because armor's cool and all, but it's just not worth it. At this point, they're like, we might as well, like, it kind of makes sense from a strategic standpoint. It's like, hey, let's just put more better protective systems on our ships, and then, you know, we don't have to worry about the weight of having armored ships, or having to make them larger to be able to handle the displacement and all that stuff. So you don't have to censor stuff. I don't care. I'm an adult. I don't care if people cuss in here. It does not upset me. I mean, obviously don't like obsessively like cuss, you know, it's like going crazy and all that, but because I would be a hypocrite if I was like, yeah, sorry, no cussing allowed in the stream. Because I will be cussing. So something kind of like that there. Got the little door. Seems to be like a little like ramp thing that comes off the side here, so we'll just kind of take this off to the side. Not sure what it is, but it's there, so we're gonna include it. And also, I think I'm gonna use a piston right here. It's so much calmer than the Jinx stream and no constant 7. I honestly have no idea who any of those are. Actually, I might have heard Jinxie before. Isn't he like homies with what's that guy's name? The brothers guy. Who he had the whole meme and stuff about him. Like what's up brothers or whatever. I forget his name. Can't even think of his name. Yeah, Sketch. That's who it is. Yeah, aren't him and like Sketch like buddies or something like that? Okay. Yeah, I don't keep up with the with streamers and stuff like that nowadays. I'm actually really not a big a stream watcher, you know? I don't really go out of my way to watch people live stream or anything like that. Let me grab this real quick. Plan on making a battleship? I do. Kind of on my list is I want to do Warspite and I want to do in Iowa. Those ones are kind of the main priorities, and then kind of after that I would like to do North Carolina. Mainly just because that's where I'm living now, and I've been to the museum for North Carolina a few times, so I think North Carolina would be a fun one to do. But yeah, those are the 3 ones that I kind of are prioritizing. That's like what I want to do. I don't know when I'm going to do them, but eventually, because I think the next ship after this one is probably going to be Russian, or it's going to be a Spruance, because the Spruances actually use the same class or the same hull as the Ticos. So I can just really easily modify this to, well, somewhat easy modify it to be a Spruance. So it'll be one of those. Warspite, the Grand Old Lady, yeah. Sketch sounds like Morty and he talks like Trump, yeah. Sketch is kind of funny. I remember when he was like a big meme and all that stuff when I was back, I think it was around this time, probably last year actually, where he was starting to blow up for his shenanigans. I never really watched him, but I really remember him blowing up and all that. You know, soon everybody was like doing the you know, hey brothers, or what's up brother, you know, meme and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty much all over the place. Like you couldn't escape the brothers meme. Yeah, Queso and Jinxie. So try building Japanese aircraft. I do want to build some more of them. I definitely know eventually when I get around to Japanese ships, there will be some coming, but those are a long ways away. Because, you know, call me a weirdo, but Japanese ships, just really not a huge fan of them. Like some people absolutely love the Japanese ships and swear by them, but I don't know, man. I mean, besides like the Takao, I really like the Takao, but most of the Japanese ships I don't really find like that interesting to build, I guess. But like US World War II stuff, like British World War II stuff, I really love all those. Those are like peak in my opinion. What's up, brother? AKA Alaska class cruiser. We prefer to call them battle cruisers. Yeah, the Alaska class is pretty sweet. That would be a fun ship to build as well. I'm just really enjoying World War II ships, or modern ships, because World War II ships, man, sometimes they are a nightmare to build. They have a lot going on. They have a lot going on and not a lot of space. Putting all the anti-aircraft gun batteries in and all the different things, especially when you start to get some of the destroyers where they just try to jam as much stuff as they possibly could on destroyers and just kept adding more and more stuff to it. What's up, Random? How you doing, man? Don't play Minecraft anymore. That's fine. There all comes a time for when we'll not play Minecraft. What happened here with this? It's like all messed up here. Why do my walls get messed up? I thought I had these set right earlier, but apparently not, so I gotta fix this. The downside of World Edit sometimes is you have to redo all these things, or stuff gets messed up here and there. Okay, it's supposed to be to the north, that's stacked. This has to go up like that, and then south has to go down like that. There we go. There we go. That looks like it's supposed to be. Pain in the blocks, man. I tell you, dude. Moteen, like that's playing Minecraft age. Hey, there's not a problem with not playing Minecraft. You know, y'all. Everybody grows out of it at different points. I just probably will never grow out of playing Minecraft. I'm one of those weird case studies that needs to be studied about why I keep playing Minecraft, but it's really the only game I play. I think I like it because I can just hop on and it's relaxing. For me, I got tired playing all the, you know, try-hard games, you know, COD and all that stuff, where really have to play and use a lot of mental energy. When I think with this, it's super chill, it's relaxing. I don't really have to use a lot of like my mental energy, so it's just kind of nice to relax and play. Man, this is not going to be pitched on a fence post, is it? Dang it. That kind of sucks. That sucks right there. I mean, I guess I could just put this underneath here as maybe a alternative to that. There we go. Can you play Roblox? I personally never will play Roblox. It's one of those games that has never once interested me. But yeah, I will never play Roblox. I think you'd have to like tie me down and like force me to play it for me to even touch it. You know, no big deal if you like Roblox, but yeah, I just don't care for it. It is not my thing. Let's see, take this over here. But I know there's a lot of people that like it. A lot of people like Roblox. I think even my cousin plays a lot of Roblox, but I don't know. I mean, it seems interesting, like some of the stuff people have been able to do in it, but yeah, it just, I don't know, just doesn't have a crazy appeal to me. Maybe it's like the art style or like the way it looks, but I mean, I feel like you could still play, you know, Roblox even if your ex, you know, plays it still. You can just block them. But I understand. Sometimes you gotta get away from them. Take on a 1.5 to 1 German armored train. I would like to do an armor train. I have kind of played around with a few like train little things here and there, so I would like to give it a shot, or to make one. It's definitely a good idea. But yeah, armor trains are pretty cool. I never built like a World War II one. I never did a World War II one. I did a couple of like, actually I take that back. I did the Polish one, but there was never a tutorial for it, so I don't know if that really counts. But there was a Polish 2-to-1 that version that I did for armor train. It was based off a specific model. I can't remember the name of it, but that was pretty cool. But there's some really interesting German ones where they have like these smaller cars, and they have like the what do you call it? The like the Panzer IV, or like the tank turrets on them and stuff like that. So I definitely would like to play around with some more like military type trains. Maybe even make like a modern like transporting, you know, train or something like that, transporting tanks or, you know, whatever. But yeah, I don't really build planes or trains too much, but I think trains are cool. I think you're silly if you don't think trains are cool. So that looks pretty good there. On the back, we do have another little ray dome thing that we're gonna have to build. They just have so many radars and just stuff on this thing. You're working on a 2-to-1 big boy? That's pretty cool. I do like the big boy. I would like to do more locomotives. I think that'd be a lot of fun to play around with. Maybe not so much like the not so much like just like train cars, but like locomotives would be pretty cool. So that would be pretty fun to mess around with. It is very tricky. For the ones I've built, I've had a hell of a time building them. They're fun in the end, but man, like they're tricky because I feel like it's one of those builds where like the actual older locomotives, they really don't work right in Minecraft no matter what you do. You know, it's possible to make them and, you know, make them look alright, but just with the wheels and just stuff like that, I feel like they're just always kind of just weird in a way. But yeah, there's some people that can pull it off better than others, but it's one of those things that's just hard to do right. And especially finding references sometimes for the older ones can be fairly tricky as well. I know I was building some of my I think that the Kriegsmarine armor train I was doing, like that was a pretty big struggle trying to find, you know, good quality reference for it, because it was just such a, you know, one of those things that's not really photographed that often or that much, but I don't know. Yeah, with the wheels, the end rods, I can't what they're called. Yeah, the pistons or that you know, propel it and all that stuff. Yeah, it's hard to make them look right, man. They're not easy to build. Yeah, the streamline, like the modern trains and stuff like that, I don't really think they're that difficult to build. They're just giant squares pretty much, and just add some detail. But yeah, those older steam locomotives, man, they are truly something else. Type 45 destroyer, odd design, isn't it? I don't think I'm too familiar with the Type 45. I think that's British, right? Triangle ship. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the Type 45. But if it's triangle ship, it's probably ugly. Same thing with like the Zumwalt. I should build a Zumwalt. I haven't seen somebody build a Zumwalt in quite a while, so I think it would be... I think I'd be okay if I built it. Build a Zumwalt would be cool. I always like the Independence. You know, they might be a little hated on, but you know, the Independence is a cool ship. They actually have quite a few of them in California or in San Diego. So I saw them a lot, you know, as a kid and all that stuff. I haven't seen the Zumwalts actually. I have seen one of the Zumwalts in person. I think it was in dry dock, but it was in the San Diego Naval Base. Pretty sure it was in dry dock, but yeah, I have seen those, and those are ugly ships, man. that was I think supposed to be the replacement for like the Arleigh Burkes, which I am very happy that they did not decide to go through with those, because those things are ugly, man. Terrible. Yeah, there's only 3 of them. I think there's one station in San Diego, and then I think the other 2. I feel like there's 2 on the West Coast and 1 on the East Coast. I could be wrong though. I don't recall where they're all stationed at and all that. But yeah, they're ugly ships. The Independences though are nice. Welcome back, Yozov. I do think though that I'm trying to recall if the Zumwalts were going to be like the replacements for like the Arleigh Burkes, or if they were intending to have them be the replacements for something else. I can't remember. What would it be? I didn't see the SU-14, F-14. See, that would be cool, but if I flew any plane, it'd probably be a cargo plane, because you just load that thing up, fly it up in the sky, put it on autopilot, you're good to go, man. Get to sit back, you know, make some little pizzas and stuff like that, and then you're just chilling, you know. That's why I find it crazy how much money pilots make. Like, you know, commercial pilots. It's crazy how much money they make. Yeah, HMS Daring, that's what it was. That's what I thought. The Daring class. Yeah, it's just it's crazy how much money they make. And realistically, I feel like commercial pilots really don't do much. Maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but like, you know, you just kind of sit there and make sure the plane doesn't crash. And like, I get there's more to it than that, and like landing it and stuff like that, but the amount of money they make is just crazy. The Type 45 is like the main British destroyer, right? Like, they don't use anything else besides that, right? Hey, Atomic, thanks so much for stopping by, man. I appreciate you, and Happy New Year to you as well. And yeah, it's coming together pretty good right now, man. Coming together pretty good. We're making some good progress over here on this back section. So everything's going good though. Their navy kind of sucks, yeah. I think the Queen Elizabeth is just an absolute like ugly carrier. I don't care what anybody says. I cannot get behind the 2-island design. I think it's ugly. I think it's just real ugly. But some people like it. So I don't know. I also really don't understand the point of the 2 islands. Like, I guess I know one's for like the air control and stuff like that, but realistically, how much of that do you really need? And it just takes up like, it takes up so much space on the flight deck that could be dedicated to more aircraft and stuff like that, you know? But what do I know? How you doing, STEM gamer? Thanks for stopping by, man. But yeah, I just don't get the point of the dual island design. It's just not a cool design. Like I'm over here, I'm building the Tico, but I even question like the Ticonderoga's design in some points. I'm like, whose idea was the superstructure of this thing? This thing's got the most messed up, weird superstructure ever. It's just insane. How to build? How you doing, Waka? What do you mean by how to build? If you're asking if this is gonna be a tutorial, it will not be a tutorial. Absolutely not. Unfortunately, it is just too massive. Let's see, where's our center line at? Center line's right down this way. Square was the inspiration, yeah. No, it absolutely was. When I was destroying combat, I think you got bigger problems with that, you know? Taper fade, yeah. It was, let's put big boxes on this thing and make it asymmetrical and just do all kinds of weird stuff. Like even the boat lifts, like the way these boats are set up are different. So this one's got like a different lift design. It's very similar to that of like the Oliver Hazard. And then over here, it's got this other different crane design. It's like, what is going on? It's like they just like randomly did stuff on both sides. I don't get it. Such a weird ship. I love it, but it's weird. So I think the hangar actually probably is going to go about halfway there. Because that right there's our center line. And I'm probably going to bring this wall one more over. And then maybe like this. So how wide is this here? This should be about 9 blocks, I would say. 8 blocks. I've not been in the Navy. I was in the Air Force, though. The better of the two. In my opinion. This is true. It could be better, but yeah, it wouldn't be the ship we hold dear. This is very true. She definitely is an ugly duckling, though, let me tell you. Like I love the Ticos, but man, they are some ugly ships in their own way, but beautiful in others. Have you had the chair force comments? Oh, absolutely. You're always gonna hear the chair force comments, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's like whatever. It's like okay. Mainly they're just mad because at the end of the day we get paid the same, but I get to sit more. When it all comes down to it, we get paid the same, but my job isn't as hard. Queen Elizabeth class design doesn't matter. All that matters is that it does chopper. Yeah, that's true. As long as it does what the Royal Navy needs it to do, I mean, that's really all that matters. I think it's still, you know, an ugly ship, but if it works, it works, you know. I mean, it should work for probably the amount of money they spent on it. I would hope it works. Let's do this right here. Something like that. Yeah, but the Marines get a la carte crayons. Yeah, man. They do get crayons. I would say most of my interactions with Marines while in uniform have never been great. They're like the worst. Navy's pretty chill. Army, never really interacted with Army too much. But yeah, Marines, they were always the most insufferable to like talk to. For my technical training, I was at a Navy base, and all the Marines go through there for their training and stuff like that, for any aerospace maintenance and stuff like that. And man, they were just always the worst to like deal with. We would be marching to class, and they'd come running up and like, you know, try to talk shit and all that, and you're like, bro, like, it ain't that fucking serious. Calm down. But they instill in them like to like act like that. Like, oh, war battle hardened, you know, war heroes. It's like, calm down, bro. You're just a mechanic. You ain't gonna be in frontline combat. Their uniform's good. I'll give them that. Their dress uniform is really nice. I hate the Air Force dress uniform. It's probably one of the worst things ever created. It's so bad. You like just need to completely go back to the drawing board on that one. They keep talking about, oh, we're gonna redo the Blues uniform, but at the same time they're gonna expect us to pay for us all to get these new uniforms that nobody even wears much in the first place. So it's kind of like, I don't really care. It ain't worth it, because for some reason military uniforms are so damn expensive, and then when you have to pay for them, yeah, it's even worse. They're like, we give you a clothing allowance, but the clothing allowance you can't afford barely anything with. Especially if you're mechanics, yeah, you're going for uniforms like crazy too. Prince of Wales embarrassed the Navy with the faulty propeller shaft. I didn't hear about that. What happened with that? I didn't know they had a faulty propeller shaft. But to be fair, that's kind of like expected with new ships, you know? Like, they're always going to have problems that need to be worked out, you know? Like, I'm sure there's problems with the Gerard 4 that's being worked out that probably aren't being released to the public, you know? I think they were having issues with the catapult system originally, and that was kind of public knowledge, but most of the time they ain't gonna really, I feel like they're not gonna let you know too much about, you know, what's going on. It was in 2023. Yeah. No, I don't remember it at all. If you remember some of the details and want to share them, you know, I'd be down to hear it, but yeah, I don't really remember the whole incident. Sounds pretty bad, though. Let's take this here. But I feel like if you're a Navy and you're not having some sort of embarrassment for ships not working or something malfunctioning, you ain't doing it right. I feel like you're always going to have problems. Navy's just one of those things where ships are just such a pain to maintain and take care of. They are just giant money pits. So it's not as big as that, but I feel like it's not as small as that one. For this big one on the back. So I gotta figure out what I want to do for that one. The external coupling broke. Oh. Well, that doesn't sound good. So like the whole, propeller flew off? It's like, oh, well, there goes one of our propellers. That sucks. Guess we gotta pull it off the next one in the class. If they are even building more. I think they're only building 2 of those. Nikito Ortez. I cannot say I've watched Nikito Ortez or honestly even know who that is. It's all fixed for now. Until next time. Nah, I mean, that kind of stuff happens. When you're working with new ships, experimental ships, and all that stuff, it takes time to iron out all the issues and stuff like that. Everything's going to have problems like that, or stuff break, and then, you know, usually the ships down the line. It's like when you buy a car, you know, you don't want to buy the first model or the first year model. You know, that's when they're going to find all the problems with it and then actually be able to fix it. Even though the Prince of Wales was later in the class, but, you know, same concept applies. He's a military YouTuber. Oh, you know what? That sounds familiar. Is he the dude that does like the little skits of like the like Marines eating at the dining facility, and then like Air Force and like, you know, Space Force, and Space Force always got the potato and stuff like that. That's that guy, right? Cause I've seen his stuff. His stuff's funny. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I know who that is. How you doing, Mason? Thanks so much for stopping by. Playing Enlisted right now in their American tree. Interesting. I haven't played Enlisted in a long time. It's a pretty good game though. For free to play, it's pretty fun. Kind of like I kind of like what they were trying to do with like the AI and all that stuff. Kind of flush out matches a little bit more and have like these big player lobbies. But like, they weren't all players. You know, you had the AIs in there and stuff. It felt pretty good. Pretty solid game. All hail potato. Yeah. That stuff's funny. Good old Space Force, man. Can't believe it's still a thing, but I respect it. They have the M26 Pershing with the T99 Mighty Mouse rocket launchers now. Oh, really? Yeah, they've done a lot to that game since I probably played it, because I can't remember what I want to say they added the Eastern Front when I was playing, or like it was like a closed access type thing for it. I don't remember exactly what, but I remember that the Russians were kind of in the game, but like kind of not. They were in the process of being implemented. Fallout New Vegas? No, I've never really played much of the Fallout games. I played a little bit of Fallout 4. I think my problem was I tried playing... My first Fallout game was Fallout 76, and that was an absolute dumpster fire. So I kind of got treated to probably the worst of Fallout. So I never really went back and played all the other ones, or never really got into the series too much. But it's definitely something I should look into, you know, getting more into. Because it seems cool. It seems like a cool game, or just a cool series and stuff. And I really enjoyed the Fallout show, but play War Thunder, so Enlisted is interesting. Yeah, no, Enlisted is a cool game. It is definitely really cool. Like I was saying, the AI concept is pretty cool with it. How you have like the AIs playing alongside the players to kind of boost the numbers in the lobbies, so it feels like there's like, you know, more people and all that. I think it's a pretty cool concept. 76 is kind of better now. I've heard it's gotten better, but yeah, I don't know. You play World of Tanks? I haven't played World of Tanks in a long time, but yeah, that's a good game also. Very solid game. I got a question here. Reboots of States. Yeah, I was actually talking about this earlier. Kashula Chuka. I'm butchering that, man. I'm sorry, but yeah, I do want to build some Soviet ships. I think my next modern ship is going to be a Soviet one. I'm probably looking at something a little bit smaller, maybe like a Udoi or something, but a Slava is definitely on there for sure. And I'm not too familiar with the Krivok class. I'd have to look into that one a little bit more, but yeah, I definitely plan on doing some Soviet ships in the future because I think Soviet ships are awesome. They make some really, really cool ships. Sherman Firefly, good gun, crap armor. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's with all the Shermans. I feel like the Shermans are like good. They're like good in their own way, you know. They're a pretty good platform, but yeah, their armor is just terrible. The rear of the bridge on the Tico cruiser is a triangle shape. Which one are you talking about? You talking about this right here? Or are you talking about further back here? The rear of the bridge on the Tico cruiser. Yeah. I'm not sure which part you're talking about. I know the bridge is up here, but you know, I'm not sure if you're talking about this area back here. I know how to notch and use the forebridge. Yeah, this right here. I got a triangle shape right here. If that's what you're talking about. I love Soviet rocket boats like the OSA class, Manchuka, but they're little but cool. Yeah, the Soviets have some cool stuff. I really like the Soviet equipment. You know, they bring some really cool stuff. We were actually having a full-on conversation about this earlier. You know, with talking about the Soviet equipment and stuff like that they bring, and they're cool. Like I would say, like I love American equipment. I think American equipment is some of the best, you know, military gear out there. But, you know, I can't deny that the Soviets make some really cool stuff. Or just Russians, you know, in general. Saying Soviets, but Russians, Soviets, all of them. Rockets, yeah, the rockets are cool. The Soyuz are really cool. They go for style points, you know. They may not be the best equipment around, but man, they got style. I'm curious after the stream, you know, how much snow is actually gonna be built up on the ground outside. Should be kind of interesting. Gotta figure out how high this goes. I feel like this almost goes as tall as this sphere thing. It's kind of hard to judge like how high this back section to go, but it's pretty dang tall. I don't know if it's taller than the forward bridge though. Yeah, they get a bonus for that. Yeah. You know, their tank turrets may, you know, go airborne, but their tanks are cool. That's all that matters. And if I saw a T-90 looking at me with the glowing red lights, I'd probably be scared. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I'm good. It's like that is that is scary. Cobblestone. Boom. So kind of like that. Here we got a ton. Yeah, you guys got really hammered, I think, last week, right? Or yeah, last week you got a ton of snow. I mean, we're only gonna get like maybe, I think they were saying like 1 to 3 inches in areas. So like we're not getting a lot, but you know, for North Carolina, you don't really get a lot of snow here. So whenever you do get snow, it's kind of like, hey, this is pretty cool, you know. And I also grew up in California, so in California you don't get any snow. So any kind of snow is like Oh, that's cool, you know. Guard dog handler in Nike Hercules missile site in New Jersey. Oh, that's cool. I feel like that would be so boring being a missile guard. California does not get snow. Well, I mean, you get snow in the mountains. So like you get snow in the mountains, but it's not like what, you know, it is like everywhere else. Like, you know, in like metro areas, because like in Southern California, like it was even rare to get it in our mountains. Like we didn't even get it in our mountains a lot. And when we did get it, it was at higher elevations, so everybody would get in their cars and they would drive up, and the mountains would just be packed. Like they would actually have to close down the freeways because people would drive up there and they would try to hop on these roads to go see snow, and they wouldn't have chains, then they wouldn't have four-wheel drive. So the cops would actually be out there and they'd be inspecting cars, and if you didn't have four-wheel drive or you didn't have chains, you were not going. It was kind of insane. People like lost their minds out there when any kind of snow happened. How you doing, Alpha Unit? You're not too late, man. Welcome. Glad to have you here. I'm stupid. Don't you even? I do live on the East Coast now. Yeah. Yeah. I used to be from California, but I left. Actually, I haven't lived in California for over 5 years now. So. Profile pic is me in the Prototype C-17 that was 3 years ago. Prototype C-17. I can't really tell in your picture, but was the Prototype C-17 any different from the actual thing that went in the service? I feel like at that point, it's probably just the same thing. Yeah, it's looking pretty good there. Height-wise, shaping-wise. Pretty happy with it. No, but it was in 6 movies. Oh, okay. Was that the one that was in the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie, right? Or was it Mission Impossible? I don't know. It's the one where the one where like Tom Cruise is hanging on the side of it and all that stuff. And, like it was like they actually did like a stunt with it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, if I had Russian Ratnik kit, I would be outside all day. Is that like a cold weather gear or something? And Battleship 2012 was bloody epic. Yeah, that was the one. That was one with the alien ships that were like sucking up the water or something, and they got like the old Navy guys on the ship to like help them man the guns and stuff, and they went and they sailed and blew it up. That movie was so ridiculous, but dang, the battleship scenes were cool. I just love how they, they just shredded the modern ships, and then, the Iowa just goes crazy. Oh, also the Transformers movies, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's cool stuff. Where did they have that Prototype C-17? Is it like a static display somewhere, or is it travel around? At State Capital, Missouri, we have 8-foot bronze radar model of the Mighty Bow used during the modernization process. That's pretty cool. That's actually really cool. It's cool. It's cool when the the states actually take pride in those like warships and stuff like that. Like the history of them and everything. So I feel like a lot of states and stuff, or like cities, they don't really like care, But they have like this like famous World War II ship that's named after their city, and they don't know, where they don't care or really even talk about it. I've been doing good, Alpha Unit. How about yourself, man? Dayton, Ohio, National Museum. Okay, I kind of figured. I really want to go up there someday. I'd really like to go there to see that museum. Problem is, I mean, I kind of live close to Ohio, but it's not like the most easiest like trip to just pack everything away and head up to Ohio, you know, for the weekend. Let's see here. I also have this model I could be using too. Now, question for anybody here. Does anybody know where the machine guns, like the 50 cal machine guns, are mounted on the Tyco? I've seen some pictures or reference that seems like there's 2 that they mount on the bow. They can mount on the bow here. I've also seen 1 mounted in this area, but there's like 4, I guess, that apparently carries. So I'm just kind of curious if anybody knows where those are. I'm by St. Louis, not doxing myself. Yeah, that's pretty cool. They were actual Missouri veterans, weren't they? That's actually really cool if they were actual, like, veterans that they brought on there. Like, hey, you know, like, we're doing a movie. Want you guys to be in it and be, like, total badasses and blow up some aliens. I'm sure they probably had no idea what was going on, but they probably liked it because they just got to, like, kind of, like, reenact their scenes or whatever, you know, in combat. You're from Illinois? Yeah, I got a buddy from Illinois. Personally, I've never been to Illinois. It's one of the few states. I've not been to a lot of those like northern, northeastern, or midwestern, northern states. For some reason, just never really visited them. But I would like to definitely see the Air Force Museum in Ohio. That would be pretty cool. 50s can be mounted anywhere. The rails of the ship. Okay. That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. You guys have any ideas on where you think that it would be cool to have some 50 cals mounted? I'm kind of leaning toward like somewhere like in the midship section would be kind of a cool place to have it, and then maybe 2 on the front, but I'm not sure. Makes sense though that they're just drop some lead on those mother and then it just like boom. Yeah, that was a cool movie. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Honestly, I forget that movie even exists for the most part. Anyone been to Carbondale? I've honestly never heard of Carbondale. So I would have to say no for myself. It's 27 degrees outside. That is freaking cold. 2 cals and 50 cals on the bow and then midship. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Yeah, because I was thinking that would probably be the best. Even though I know probably for the most part the Tyco probably has the 50 cals stored away, they probably bring them out for when, you know, they're some sort of thing. You know, if they're like having like some pirates or something, I guess. I don't know. I don't see the real point of them. The Bushmasters are actually in this area right here, so those will be added on. It seems like the U.S. Navy, they're like, hey, let's upgrade our ships. What should we do? Let's strap some Bushmasters on it, because that's what they did for the OHP when they got rid of the Mark 13 missile launcher. They retired it. They just put a 25mm Bushmaster right there. So like this ship lost all of its capability for missiles, which is just mind-blowing to me. It's like, all right, you got a missile ship, but we're gonna go ahead and take off the missile. But at that point, the OHPs were pretty much being phased out anyway, so I get it, but it's like seriously? Doesn't make any sense. I feel like that should be angled more. I'm not sure though. What do you guys think? Do you think this angle needs to be a little bit more pronounced, or do you guys think the angle's okay? I need to look at a good like back view of this thing. I mean, it doesn't look like the angle's super big on the back, but the side seems like it's a little bit more angled than I'd expect. See if we can find some pictures here up there. Wish we kept Prince Eugen. Yeah, that would have been cool. Unfortunately, none of those ships were going to be kept. At the time, they didn't care about that. They were just like, hey, let's blow it up. That'd be cool. I just love how, like, after World War II, they're just like, hey, let's just blow up all these ships we have. Bradley versus U.S. Navy Coast Guard Bushmaster. Yeah, everybody gets a Bushmaster. Yeah, my best guess is they probably kept them stored in like a locker, and then if the sort of like, I guess, battle stations required it, or if they're like had like pirate boats or something attacking them, because I think there's a video actually of like a U.S. ship getting attacked by like I think the Somali pirates. It was either U.S. or like a British ship, but yeah, they got attacked by the Somali pirates and they just blew their asses out of the water. I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Like, how do you mistake a warship for like anything else? I think they're pretty iconic in design. It's like, we're gonna take over your vessel. It's like, all right, prepare the 5-inch gun. I'm sure that the captain of that ship was just laughing at him the whole time, and the whole crew of the bridge was like, what is going on? We had a Japanese battleship in blue. Which Japanese battleship do we have? Ever heard of the Aegis ashore? I can't say I have, no. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with that. The USS Arizona turret was a coastal defense on Oahu Island? Really? I know they reused stuff from the Iowa, but I didn't know they actually used it as like a static defense. That's kind of weird. The poor Arizona. The Issei, that would make sense because I think the Issei, I don't remember the story of it sinking. Yeah, Congo. Did the Issei ever like fully finish the conversion? Or you know what? I think they did. Yeah, they did finish the conversion, but they didn't have enough aircraft to actually field it. So they finished the conversion on it, but then they're like, well, we don't have any aircraft, so. So we don't know what to do with you, but hey, you know, at least we tried. Nagato, okay. That sounds familiar now. Good old Nagato. That's just so funny to me. They're like, Japanese like, hey, we have an aircraft carrier crisis. Let's just go ahead and put them on a battleship. That'd actually be kind of a cool build to do. Would be like the carrier version of the Congo-Class, or was it Nagato-Class? I don't remember. Whatever the Issei was a part of. I think they were camouflage green, if I remember correctly. I think some, I want to say it was. Could be wrong though. Alright, let's get him, Navy Captain. 127 millimeter, 20 millimeter, and then also a missile. You gotta, we'll fire a harpoon at him just for fun, you know? Target practice. That's just so funny to me. It's like, why would you do that? It's like, I know Somali pirates, you know, they probably aren't the brightest you know, the brightest minds the world's ever seen, but like seriously, man, like I don't know, I just feel like they're a little bit more smarts than that, man. Been to Lexington? I have been to Lexington, actually. Actually with my buddy Brock. He's been around the channel for a while. But yeah, we actually went together when I visited him in San Antonio one year. And yeah, we went to Lexington. That was cool. I want to see Texas. Because I have not had a chance. Because I think when I went there, we were gonna go see Texas, but they put her into her dry dock, her refit that she was doing, her renovations. So I didn't actually get to see Texas. So that's kind of on my bucket list to do. Yorktown would be cool to see. I want to see that. The USS Alabama was really cool. I love the Alabama was awesome to see in Mobile. And then I've been on the Wisconsin in Norfolk. But other than that, that's... And then Midway, obviously the little submarines they've had. I think they have the Nautilus at the San Diego Maritime Museum. Been on that. They also have a Soviet sub, which is pretty cool. I forget what sub it is exactly, but they actually have one there, and that was actually really cool. So they have a Soviet sub there. First you've been was Nashville. I actually have not been to Nashville, but it seems like a nice nice town. Been in the USS Alabama, USS Claremore. I never even heard of the Clamagore. And you said she was scrapped. That really sucks. You hate to see it. USS Drum, Laffey. I almost went and saw the Kid when I was in Mississippi for a little bit, because it's over there in Baton Rouge, which wasn't too far from where I was staying, but I don't know. It was kind of far to where I was like, you know, I don't know if I really want to go. It's just for a Fletcher class, you know, but almost went. It was a sub. Oh, okay. Man, that sucks. It was scrapped though. I'd really like to see the U-boat that they have in the that one museum in Chicago. That'd be really cool to see. How you doing, Glamorous Titanic? Appreciate you stopping by, man. Welcome to the stream. The real tragedy is that we scrapped the Enterprise. Both Enterprises, actually. We messed up with the World War II version. Scrapped her. And then we messed up with the modern one. So we're just constantly messing up when it comes to the Big E. Yeah, we did a GTA heist on a U-boat. I find it crazy that just in the middle of Chicago, there's just a museum with a U-boat underground. Like, what? It's just crazy. French Navy tanker, some armament. Yep. Oh, it was a French Navy. Okay. That makes sense. Still, it's like you attack a naval vessel and then you just get destroyed. It's like, why? Like, I get the homies. They're probably desperate, you know. I mean, obviously they're in a pretty crappy situation, you know, having to try to hijack boats to put food on the table. But like, really, I don't know how you mistake a Navy ship for an oil tanker, you know. I don't really know how you do that. Any developments of the USS United States? The SS United States? I don't know what the SS United States is. They should save the island of the USS Enterprise. That'd be cool. At least something, you know. But I feel with the Navy, they're probably just like, nope, sorry, nobody gets to see it. It's like we keep putting all these taxpayer dollars towards stupid stuff. Let's put them toward preserving these museum ships. But hey, that's just my bias. Be like, you know, that would be like day one. If I became president, you know, day one, I'd sign a bill where every U.S. ship before it retires, you know, there has to be the chance for it to be put in a museum, or like one ship of every class needs to go into a museum to like preserve it. The thing is too is like you don't even need to have them in like water, you know. You can put them in like you can put them in like dry dock or something, that so that you know you don't have to deal with the water tearing away at them or anything like that. Preserve them a bit better, but just be cool to see some of this stuff that, you know, it's just no longer there. Now you just have pictures to see it in the past. Fastest ocean liner ever. I think it's dumb the USS Gerald R. Ford doesn't have VLS. I mean, yes, but I understand like with the U.S. carrier doctrine, like they don't do it like the Russians and stuff. They have a whole task force around every carrier, so there's really no point for it to have VLS. Where the Russians, they don't really have the support fleets to constantly be able to protect a carrier, so the carrier kind of has to, you know, wear a couple hats. I think it would be cool if our U.S. carriers had it, but I think it's something that we're probably never ever going to put on our carriers. But it's only our museum fleet. Yeah. Last I checked, they were gonna sink it, and the Coast Guard wouldn't let it leave the Philippines. Oh dang. That is pretty wild. That is pretty wild. I still like that, you know, we have one ship still in active duty. It's probably our oldest active duty ship is the Puebla. I think that's so forgotten about, how like the North Koreans hijacked that boat and took it, and we still have it as an active ship because we refused to like say like, you know, we lost it. We need to invest in like a giant helicopter to just go and like pick it up. That'd be so goated. We're just like, you know what? We're tired of you North Koreans. We want our damn ship back, and we just like pull up with like a bunch of, you know, Chinooks. Cause what are they gonna do? Shoot us down? You know, it's not like they have anything to shoot us down with. And we just pick it up and take it. It's like, all right, peace out. Yo, what's up, Derek? Yeah, man, I have one hell of a beard going on now, dude. I can like see my gray hairs a little bit better. China has a 6th generation fighter, yeah, but they ain't gonna use it for us when we just go take our ship back. They're gonna be like, all right, whatever. North Korea will be like, oh, China, you need to help us. The Americans are being mean to us. They're taking our ship. I'm like, okay, not worth our time. Let's do this. Derek, you're gonna come, you know, help build the Tico, man? I know the Tico's your favorite modern ship, you know. Yeah, China's 6th generation fighter, yeah. We'll see what that actually entails. Until it actually sees combat, or actually goes into mass production, you know, it's whatever. It's cool, but you know, I don't really consider it an actual thing until it actually, you know, gets mass produced and is actually properly fielded in their units. But I honestly, I don't see that ever happening. Because I feel like a lot of it is just like every nation trying to flex on the other nations. Like, oh, look, we were the first to come out for our 6th generation fighter. And it's like, all right, cool. But it's a piece of crap, you know? It actually, like, only works just to, you know, have that effect of, hey, we did it first, you know? Ha ha ha, you know, in your face, USA, you know? Went to Ukraine in the 90s to get asbestos removed? What? These constitutes over 200 years old and still in commission. Ah, that's true. I forgot about the Constitution. Yo, wouldn't that be funny though if we just like took the Constitution, like just heavily protected the Constitution, and we just took it and like had to like go shoot a cannonball or something like that at like China, just like as a big giant like, you know, fuck you, just just have it roll up and, you know, fire a cannonball at China and just be like, yeah. Yeah, get some America. It's just the dumbest crap, but like it'd be hilarious. Yeah, no, the Gerald Ford has a good complement. You also got to think about its aircraft complement. Like that's really where they put their emphasis and like their force. You know, their power projection is. Their power projected is what is their air wings, you know? Yeah, well that's what the Gerald Ford's main threat is going to be aircraft getting to it. Really, any ships or submarines are supposed to be detected by its, you know, thousands of other things to protect it. But really, aircraft are the one wild card where they can, you know, get through and wreak havoc and stuff like that. So. Yeah, that's true. That is true, but we also don't know what's in those spaces, you know? And I think the Navy, they value having. The Navy probably values having like an extra aircraft on board the ship than having, you know, some vertical launch capable stuff, you know? Because really, in the end of the day, that's what the Navy values. They value their planes. They want their planes on board. You know, and that's pretty much it. It was filled because the designer was terrified it would catch fire. He watched the Normandy burn in New York. Ooh, yeah. Tragic. Queen Elizabeth-class doesn't even have missile launchers. Yeah, they're just they're like, well, we don't need to have missile launchers if we just don't go to war with people, you know. Like that's all. That's what we need to do. It's an ingenious strategy. If you don't go to war with people, then you don't need to have missiles. Nimitz is gonna be decommissioned? Oh, that sucks. But honestly, like, I see it. I get it. You know, it's the what's the next one that's coming out, the next carrier? I forget what it is. I forget the name of the next carrier, but that one should be close to being done by now. I would imagine. The gosh, it's gonna drive me crazy. It's named after the one guy. the one guy. He was a African American Medal of Honor recipient, if I remember correctly. The Dory, or I forget his name, but the next carrier coming out, because I think the Nimitz, or the new Enterprise, is laid down, but the next carrier is something else that's supposed to be done. The last of the Nimitz class will be retired. First, yeah, the first one's always gonna be retire first. Less money put into it. I don't know. I feel like they usually, the Navy goes, they retire the oldest ship in the class first. Typically, unless there's other problems or whatever, but. Jefferson, yeah, the Doris Miller, that's what it is. Doris Miller. Yeah, that's gonna be the next carrier. And that one really should be ready here soon, I'd imagine. I feel like it's been being built for a while now, if I remember correctly. Because I think it was supposed to be completed this year, and I think Enterprise is 2017, or no, 2027, I think. So. It makes sense because they're trying to pump out, I think, one of those carriers every 2 years. What ship is the Jefferson City? I don't know ships all that well, or like names of them, so. It was, but I heard from the last class is retire first, as the first has the most investment. Interesting. I feel like it would probably apply in some scenarios, but I feel in the case of like the Nimitz and the aircraft carriers, the Nimitz is a very old carrier at this point. I mean, this thing's been around for a long time. Well, I see the investment. I feel like they would justify that, you know, they put so money into this carrier already that they don't want to keep putting money, and I'm sure things on it are starting to like get pretty close to being pretty bad, to like where it's hard to repair. So I can see them being like, well, hey, you know, we spent $50 million, you know, let's say, maintaining the Nimitz. We've only spent $10 million on this other, on the newest of the Nimitz. Let's get rid of the older one because the maintenance costs, and let's just continue to maintain the newer one, which, you know, likelihood is probably going to have, you know, less stuff go wrong in the next, you know, few years. Would be my guess. 24 we died on the USS Lincoln Bay. Yeah. I don't remember exactly what he did for the Medal of Honor, I think, but I'm pretty sure that's who it was. I'm pretty sure it was the Medal of Honor. It could have been that or the Navy Cross, but it was, he did something big. But I don't understand the Navy. They do what they want. They do what they please, and they will definitely decommission and commission what they want to. But I can see them getting rid of the Nimitz first. I did not watch his funeral. Honestly, I didn't even know the funeral was yesterday. But it might sound bad to say, but like, he wasn't a president when I was alive, so it's not something I really like. I don't even really know what he did, so it's one of the things where I'm like, oh, okay, like, you know, sucks a U.S. former president died, but I don't know anything you actually did while you were in office, so. A soldier collapsed before his casket arrived. He locked knees. That's the number one rule. You can't lock your knees. It's actually a thing, you know, like the it actually happens quite a bit. It's when you stay at attention, your knees lock, and when your knees lock, it restricts the blood flow, and it will actually cause you to faint and collapse. So it's an actual legit thing that happens. I've personally seen somebody actually collapse when they're in formation, or you know, staying at attention, because they locked their knees and they weren't getting the blood flow through, and then your whole body just collapses. Miller took control of a 50 cal during the attack on Pearl Harbor. Oh, that's what the story was. Yep. Isn't that what they tried to recreate in like the Pearl Harbor movie? It wasn't necessarily like or was that a different guy on the Arizona that like took a gun and like started firing the gun or something like that? Medal of Honor, okay. Hallen Foundboy, I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you doing? This is the VLS Tico. Yeah, this is the VLS one, the cooler one. No, don't want to be political, but Trump and Obama were talking and laughing just before his funeral started. Yeah. I mean, it's nice to see them not fighting for once. I'm kind of surprised. Well, I say I'm surprised Trump attended, but optics-wise, is probably the best thing for him to do is to attend. But yeah, of course we're doing the VLS Taco. That's their Tico. I'm just gonna start calling it Taco. It's a taco now. But yeah, the VLS one is the coolest of them, I think, personally. One thing I don't understand is just the amount of like radars they just have everywhere on this thing. This thing just has like a radar everywhere they can, or like some sort of sensor device. Like, yeah, let's put one here. Let's put one over here. Put it everywhere. Objectively the best taco. It is. I do want to make one of the older ones because I do like the dual missile launching system. I really do like it. So I would like to make an older one, but you know, we'll see. Well, he did say he respected Carter's efforts during his time as president. Yeah. That's fair. Though I don't really know what Carter did, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't know. It just seems like he was just like, he just kind of existed, was there as president, and then, you know, that was it. But I guess I'm just so used to the current thing where it's like every president now just has to be like, you know, doing crazy stuff, I guess. Or every president has to be like polarized. The Omega Taco. Come get your tacos. Iranian crisis happened. Oh, okay. See, man, like I like my history, but like when it comes to like presidents and stuff, like I just could not care. I feel like most of them just like exist and that's it. It's looking pretty good there. Let's get some of these walls. So just put in some of these tanks. Like, now, does anybody know? So on U.S. Navy ships, I always see these like gas tanks on here. Does anybody know what those are? Like, they're on modern ships, they're on World War II ships. I want to feel like they're like for like repairs and stuff, but it just feels weird to have that sitting out on the deck like that. Did thinking about climate change and all that, yeah. I don't know, he just seemed like he was just like, he was just there, you know? Like, wasn't like a super impactful president in terms of anything he really did, but he just was president, was there, and all that. The lifeboats? No, I'm talking about like these like little like propane type tanks. I don't think they're lifeboats. They look like they look like propane tanks, or not propane tanks, but like natural gas tanks, or like stuff for like welding and stuff like that. Like I can see them being used for like damage control and everything, but I just don't know what they would be. Why would they would just have them laying out in the open, you know? But it is the Navy. Yeah, they ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, that's for sure. They got some cool stuff, but they stupid. One of the things too that always gets me about the Tico is how these things didn't just roll over in like tough weather. Like I feel like this ship is just so top heavy, you know, like it just feels like it's one of those things that like would just flip over the moment it goes through rough weather, you know. Oh yeah, the round gray tanks, yeah. On the over here, I have them in white on here just for a little bit of extra color, but I really should have done them in white over here on the OHP for a little bit of color, but not that big of a deal. Because technically they are gray, but you know, I might change them out, but I just like the little bit of color splashes on the build because I feel like it just gets too gray sometimes, which I think is like stupid to say considering it's a warship, you know. Of course it's gonna be gray, you know, but I don't know. I noticed those gray tanks on the Type 23 frigates. Yeah, they got to be something for like damage control or something. That's the only thing I could think of that would make sense. Like for like, you know, having to weld stuff or something like that. I'm not sure. How you doing, Kate Brown? Thanks so much for stopping by. Welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy military stuff because we are cooking with some right now. Let's see, I did something over here with maybe not. I thought I did like this like design I was wanting to reuse over here, but I guess not. Just do this right here, and then what am I gonna put here? Actually, no, I think I did on the front. Air tanks. They're air tanks. What do they have? Just like oxygen or like is it? Like, I know it may sound stupid, but like, you know, something to grab onto if the ship sinks. I just don't know. I don't feel like that would be the case. Like I just feel like that would be weird, you know? Like maybe, I don't know. I feel like it's like, it could be air tanks or like some sort of like propane or something like that, or I don't know. I just feel like it being something that people would grab onto when the ship sinks is just kind of like there's so many better things that you could have than that, you know. Like I would think that it would probably be like for damage control or like natural gas for like welding or something of that sort. If they have to weld a gap in the ship or something, I don't know. I'm sure I could probably find the answer if I just start looking around all over. My ring, yeah. Who knows? Navy's got some weird stuff that they do. And this right here pops out. So that pops out a little bit like that. And then gotta redo these walls. And they're all messed up, of course, because why would they not be? There we go. New mystery. What are the gray tanks? Yeah, we're gonna never figure that one out, I don't think. I think the Tico, actually, one of the good things about this ship is that there's good reference for the interior of the hangar, so I can probably actually build a pretty decent hangar for this ship, because the OHP, I found like one reference that was, it kind of almost looked like a model rendition. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see them being inflatable tanks or like tanks used for life-saving purposes at all. Because I just don't feel like a raft would like fit in this type container. It's in their shape just like a propane tank, or like a natural, or like a welding gas tank, or something like that. Whatever terminology you want to use for it. I keep saying propane, but they can be multiple things. Get the lights over here for the flight deck as well. They got the big old spotlights. This one's kind of cool. I like how they put the what you call it, the little air traffic controller thing. It's like a little like, it's like the carrier, like how they have the catapult thing. It's like a little thing in the deck floor instead of on the back of the carrier or on the back of the ship. It's kind of cool. This is where they explode and there's a life raft inside. Yeah, the white tanks. I know what the white tanks are, but like these guys right here, they're like little like propane looking like type tanks. But yeah, the white tanks are definitely like those exploding life raft designs, which those are pretty cool. So we got the big old spotlights here, and then there's like these like little red lights right here, but I don't want to use a torch for it, so what I'll probably do, probably grab myself a fence post, place down a fence post here to both sides, like that, and then I'll put this here, and then there's like an apple, like I can put like an apple in it or something, and that'd be pretty accurate, I feel. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Water, I mean, could be. Could be. I just know that I've seen them on like US ships for a long time, like since World War II. They definitely could. Could be like for firefighting or something like that, and have some kind of material in them. But I think typically those are like the red extinguishers. But I could be wrong. Because I know the OHP, they had like these red extinguishers, or like these red canisters right here near the hangars, and those were like for firefighting and stuff like that. It's actually like the military, like you have to have each aircraft like on the tarmac needs to have its own like aircraft design fire extinguisher next to it at all times. So it's actually kind of it's kind of interesting. And I imagine obviously the US Navy probably follows the same thing. Yeah, red objects are definitely damage control. So these ones are definitely like the giant aircraft level like fire extinguishers. But it seems they have like these like they have like white and green ones as well. So, but I feel like they serve some kind of purpose in damage control. But who knows? If only I was in the Navy, I'd be able to answer my own question. Let's take this up here as well. Put one of these going up. So just like that. So that's looking pretty good there on the back. And then it looks like there's also some more piping that goes up here on the sides of the big white blocks here. There's like a little cross section that goes across here. And same thing will be done over here on this side as well. So we'll take this up like that, and then this right here is going to go in between them. So actually we'll take this one down one lower, so kind of like that. So yeah, I got some of the piping going on there. That looks pretty good, looks pretty solid. See what else can we add in here. What I need to do. Looks like they have another light mounted right up here. So, let's see, I'll probably add that right there. Tools, could be tools. Because it's sort of, I guess, system for anti-air. It's terrifying. Sounds like it. And it looks like they have the same thing that's on the OHP. I don't know what this thing is. It's like this the OHP had two of them, and it looks like Tico has one of them. I have no idea what this is. But we are going to go ahead and throw it on the Tico because it's there. I'm sure somebody knows what this is. This weird circular, like, dish type thing that's just on the back here. It's like the most random place too. It's like right here on the ship, which is just weird. It's like, oh, we have this space right here, let's just throw something else into it. It's a radar system. Yeah, it's some sort of radar. I don't know what it's for, what type it is. Definitely some sort of system. But it's in just such a weird spot for it to be, like, useful, you would think. What do I know, though? Ah, airgun and inert gas. Okay. Yeah, so some sort of gas. So it's like a, it's for, like, damage control or something. Got some damage to the ship and like welding or something like that. That was always my guess on what they were. But like US ships have had them for a very long time. Let's take this right here, rotate this around. So I'm all for detecting, but the enemy, but detecting the yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm telling you, the Tico, they put something on everywhere they possibly could. It's like we have a radar that's supposed to go here. We have a radar here, 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 here. Here, 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 maybe right there, and then also I think some more stuff on the mast that we forgot. It's just, it's so crazy. They're just like, let's just keep piling them on, man. They can take it. But there's gotta be use for all of it. So somehow, some way, everything on the ship is being used, which is quite crazy. All I can say is I'd hate to be like a radar tech or like anything like that on this ship. You'd just have you'd constantly be working everything on here. Yeah, there's too much empty space. We need more stuff. That's why these like Cold War ships are like kind of like the best of both worlds, because you get the crazy clutter that is like still like the World War II type aesthetic, but like it's not as crazy. Man, just look at all that stuff on there. Yeah, too many flat edges, clutter a little bit, you know. Admiral's orders. Admiral says he wants a cluttered ship. You don't want a pretty ship. You want a cluttered one. They're like, just think, sir, if we put 12 radars on here, we can have this many VLS rockets. Yeah, how is this radar effective? It's definitely unique. But hey, that's why we like the Tico, right? Because it's something special. We got those up there. It's actually starting to look good. Got all the detail on the side there. This area right here is probably pretty much done. I don't really think there's much more we need to add in here. Obviously, we do have the hangar we have to build later on. I really feel like we don't have much space in here, but should have enough to make it work. I feel like this whole box is built just for the hangar. Gotta love the C cube. Yeah, I do want to do Long Beach. I do want to do Long Beach eventually. That'd be a lot of fun. Good old Long Beach. Have any of you guys been playing that Sea Power game? Oh, you know what? This is a window right here, actually. I just noticed this. Yeah, it's definitely a window right there. So they do have like a little window system right there that I didn't think they actually had any of these. Long Beach, more like Long Boy. Yeah. The Long Beach is a very interesting ship. I do want to build it though. I think eventually we're gonna have like the whole like 1980s American fleet. That's the goal. Yeah. Sea Power's, yeah, it's a good game, but I feel like it's something also I kind of get bored with. I don't know. I feel like the combat in it it's cool, but it's also very slow paced. And then it all goes to hell real quick, and then it's, you know, back to being slow. So I don't know. It's just for most of the videos I've watched and stuff like that, and the scenarios, it's just super slow. And I have the game, I've played a little bit, but I think it's a lot more fun than like the short range encounters where you just like fire everything you got at each other and all that. But then at the same time, that only lasts like, you know, a short amount of time. Yeah. They're supposed to come out with campaign mode, so I think the campaign mode might actually make things a little bit better. Where, you know, battles actually have meaning and purpose. So if you lose a ship, you know, like, you're losing it for the rest of this war you're fighting or whatever. So it might be a little bit more interesting then in that aspect, but yeah, the battles, they just, I don't know. They're just very eh. But it has given me a lot of inspiration for ships I want to build and stuff like that, so it also has been a good thing in that aspect. I think that's why I'm like so like hooked on a lot of these you know, 1980s ships and all that stuff, is because of you know, sea power and all that stuff, seeing the ships in game and all that. Where is... One of the things too is that the what you call it, man, I forgot what I was gonna say, but the air combat, I'm not a huge fan of. I think the air combat's kind of stupid at times. Like, I feel like half the time my stuff doesn't even listen to where I want it to go, and then they're just flying off and blowing up and doing all kinds of dumb stuff. I was streaming one time, I left my game for like an hour and someone stayed on stream. I think I've done that before, where I accidentally left the stream running or something like that after I stopped, or I accidentally started streaming or something. Everybody was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I didn't even know I was streaming, man. But it happens to the best of us. The same one viewer count, yeah. That one homie's he's a dedicated fan, or he just fell asleep. One of the two. VLS is king now. Missile spam till enemy's dead. Yes. And VLS is a really cool, like. It's a really cool system. But I will say, like, the old rocket system of having like the dual launchers, and then they like fold back and get reloaded and then fire again. It's pretty. That's pretty cool. It's cool, obviously not as efficient and effective, but like still pretty cool. Post-game War Thunder stream. Yeah. Missile spam. For no missiles, you have a gun, use it. Yeah. That's pretty much how it is. Like, I don't even know why they put 5-inch guns anymore on ships, because it's all just missiles now. Do this here like that, this right here, and then this kind of like that. And we're gonna watch the inauguration? Probably not. I mean, I don't even know it, but it's probably a day I'm working, so I probably wouldn't even be able to watch it, even if I wanted to. But I typically don't really watch the inaugurations. Thinking something kind of like that. Let me see here. See if that's what I want to do. I'm trying to find another reference image here of that set section. Love seeing missile magazines of Cold War ships. USS Little Rock had Talos missiles just laying on rails inside. Yeah, it's crazy what they would what they do, you know. But it's like at that point, like they ain't worried about, you know, They ain't worried about, like, you know, being sunk or anything like that, that's for sure. Well, they're not, they're worried, you know, if they get hit, then they're pretty much destroyed, you know. So it doesn't really matter at that point. It's just self-defense now, yeah. What YouTube channels do you watch about Minecraft? Honestly, I really don't watch a lot, you know. I have a couple buddies, but honestly, I don't really watch Minecraft on YouTube. Back when there was, like, you know, other military builders like Master Jam, like, I'd usually, like, click on their video, leave them a like, support them and all that stuff, but that would probably be about it. I wouldn't really normally, like, watch the tutorials all the way through or anything. But yeah, I don't really watch any Minecraft YouTubers. It's like one of those things, I play Minecraft a lot, but I don't really watch anybody play it. But like I'm still subscribed to like Jag Thunder and Lord Dacker and all that stuff, but I don't actively like sit there and watch their videos or anything like that. Unless it's something like cool and I'll be like, oh, that's kind of cool, and click on it and just check it out. But I don't even think Jag posts anymore, so. So I think he's moved on from Minecraft entirely. I could be wrong though, but. Jag still posts? I'd be surprised. Because I haven't looked at his channel in a long time. I must have missed anything he posted, but I think like every once in a while I'd see like he posts like a update for his resource pack he has, but other than that, like kind of radio silence. Oh, this is supposed to be like this. There's a reason why I was doing this, because this is where the nets are gonna go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no, Dacker's kind of come out of nowhere, and he started posting some ships and stuff. That was kind of surprising, because I thought he was pretty much going to be entirely done with anything military related, and then here he is, you know, posting military stuff again. Which is cool. Obviously, I support it. There we go. So just doing some of the nets right here. I'm more along the lines give him props for like those big tutorials he's putting out for those ships. It's crazy. It's crazy he's able to put the tutorials out for him, but they're also pretty simple in design, I would say, at least compared to how I would do it. Like the detail, it's just okay, you know. It's nothing like too crazy or anything too fancy. For me, that would be impossible. Because I love detail. Yeah, look at that. That looks cool. I like that. So this I gotta extend just a tiny bit here. And like that. Boom. And there's like a fire hose that's like tucked into the deck here. It's kind of cool. So what I'm seeing, so there's like a fire hose and reel right here. Vanguard's one of those ships that can only dream of testing her strength in battle. Yeah, she didn't actually she didn't actually like fight in any battles, did she? unfortunately, a lot of those later warships really didn't get to actually see what they were created for, you know? Especially see it like in the Iowa and all that stuff, where the Iowa never actually got to like really use her guns for what she was intended to do. I mean, it's the same thing like Midway, you know? I would have loved to, it would have been cool to see Midway actually be able to, you know, participate in the war effort. But of course the war ended right when she was fully ready to go. Like, oh, okay, alright. Oh, yeah. Pictures in chat, yeah. That would be abused by somebody, that's for sure. Or somebody would send something and YouTube would see it and get me banned from the internet. So I think this is about where the striping will sit. I'm not 100% sure yet. I will have to also build a Seahawk for this, which I have yet to make one, so that'll be pretty cool. So I'll get to put a Seahawk on this deck. Because I had to make the Sea Sprite specifically for this the ship, so be cool to be able to make some be able to make another helicopter for it. It was the same thing with the Midway. I had to make like the TBF and the Helldiver and all that stuff. Which I still need to put the TBFs on the back of my my Bogue, because it carried Wildcats and Avengers, so I still need to update that to have those on there. Right here. Do I have any favorites among ships? I wouldn't say like any in particular. Like I love World War II ships the most. Pretty much most World War II ships I like. USS Ticonderoga. I'm just looking for some more reference here. The flight deck. See you later, Jab. Thanks so much for stopping by, man. But I love the original Enterprise, the World War II one. That one is just a classic in my eyes. So I really love that ship. The Iowas. Pretty much everything and everything, man. Warspite's awesome. Love that ship. But yeah, just really most ships I like. Just take this around like this. Boom. Something kind of like that. And then for the flight deck itself, we got kind of the rectangle there for it, which seems a little long, but I think it's all right. I think that's all right, and then we'll just find the center point of it. Gee, maybe it looks like it's a little bit more forward from the center point. So we'll find the center point from maybe right here, which is going to be about 20, 21, so we get an odd number so we can find the center. So then we find 11 here, and that's our center point. So that's where our circle is going to be. and that's where our center is going to be. So we'll go ahead and build the circle around it. F-14 getting retired? I mean, F-14 is a gorgeous plane, but like anything, you know, it needs to get retired. It's falls behind, the airframes are too old. I mean, that's like what's happening right now with the A-10, you know? I love the A-10, but it is definitely her time to go, you know? The F-15 is older? Is it really? I could have swore the F-14 was older. The A-10 could go. You're the first person I heard that. Most people are like fighting. They're like, no, the A-10 needs to stay. We need to have the A-10. I'm just like, it's so outdated. It's so done. And that's me, the A-10 should have been retired years ago. But we still wanted to keep it around. Like it's a cool aircraft, but dang, like, you know, it ain't gonna do good in modern conflict anymore. Yeah, it's just not. It can't serve the purpose it was originally designed for anymore in a modern conflict. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Like, you see the A-10 trying to fight against, you know, modern militaries with anything and everything that can lock on and take it down. Like, yeah, it's not going to go over well for it. Yeah, friendly fire too. The most blue on blue ratio out of all the other ones. Yeah, no, the F-15 still has its use. I mean, that's why it's definitely still around. I think the F-15's a great airframe, and you know, it's surprising they're still keeping it around, but I mean, it still works good. And I mean, same thing like the F-16, it still does a really good job in its role, you know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah. Well, it was primarily the Navy using it, and the Navy got the new shiny F-18, so they were like, alright, you know. But I feel like the Navy has a track record. They go through aircraft very quick. But I think also a lot of carrier aviation was a bit more of a explorative, you know, venture and stuff like that for them for a while than it was, you know, with like the U.S. fighters, where, you know, they kind of knew what they were doing, and there wasn't like the restrictions and stuff like that, try to figure out jet fighters and all that. Oh yeah, no, I'm sure it's still effective, but I don't think it could stand up against, you know, modern conflicts like there is now, you know. Especially when the Navy has the cool toys they have now, like the F-35 and, you know, the F-18s still and all that, you know, like, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it's just the technology, you know, it just puts aircrafts out of commission, you know. It's unfortunately the way it goes in the aviation world. Well, really just anything in the military, you know. It's like once it has met its use and is deemed unnecessary anymore, it's gone. Plus, you know, the military still has to keep making those contractors all that money, so gotta keep the contracts flowing, you know. Let's take this here. This is like little things right there that we're gonna put. The only reason I have a military role. Well, thanks, Harris. I appreciate you. Glad I can inspire and give you some good stuff, man. LCS, yes. The littoral combat ships, man. They are not the greatest, man. Now see, I like the Independence class. I think the Independence class is cool, but man, do those ships have just so many problems. It's crazy to me. Because like wasn't the original Independence already retired or decommissioned because it just had so many like problems with it? Like you spent $1 million for this ship that hasn't done anything and just is already going to the scrapyard. But I think Trump can end the Ukraine war one day. I don't think he can end it one day, but I think he can obviously start pushing for it to end, for lack of better words. I don't know, I feel like the current administration has not really tried to stop it, and it's been just kind of, let's just funnel more and more money into it. But I don't know. I don't know, and I don't know what he has, you know, brewing, because he says he has a way that he's gonna end it, so I don't know what that entails. You know. So yeah. We shall see, I guess, is really all I can say to that. But hey, I'd love the war in Ukraine to end. If he came in and he ended it day one, then, you know, more props to him. But I don't know. Going pretty good, Desert Fox. How you doing, man? How are you doing? Yeah. Well, I think it also just helps to have a strong, like, U.S. leader. I feel like our current one is not the strongest and hasn't really projected the most, like, strength. And I think that's what, you know, Putin values, is strength. And when, you know, nobody really stands up to him, then he's just kind of gonna do whatever. But you know, I think a lot of places were scared when you know, Trump was in office, because it was kind of like a, you know, fuck around, find out type mentality. You know, love him or hate him, he'd fuck somebody up if they you know, fucked somebody. if they came at us, he's like, I'm gonna come back harder. So, but I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. But all I can say is that I hope it does end, you know? Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think there definitely was a bit more motivation once he was gone, and then, you know, Biden came in and all that stuff, and the negotiations basically failed right off the bat, so. So, who knows? All I want is no new wars. That's all I care about. And wars that we shouldn't be getting involved in. Do that there. That looks pretty good. Pretty solid. And then we'll take this and go like this across here. That's looking pretty good there. Almost got the flight deck finished off, which is sweet. Well, obviously I gotta do like the weathering and detailing and stuff like that, but that'll come later. Yeah. Yeah, I was still in the Air Force at the time, and that was sketchy because we're all sitting there watching like, oh well. You know, I guess we'll see what happens. You know, we never got involved military, like sending troops over, but for a little while there, we thought. I know there was some preparation and some kind of what's what I want to use, like, you know, thought that we were gonna get involved. Or at least go over and start shoring up, like, you know, Poland and stuff like that, but never came to that, which is good. Yeah, it was pretty crazy stuff. I remember when all the combat footage, because like this war has been kind of historic in the fact that there's just so much combat footage and so much, like, you know, footage available online of it, which is just something that's not the usual for like wars, to see just how much documentation there has been of like the wars and stuff. But I remember like seeing some of the combat footage. It was just crazy, you know, like. You know, people getting, like, civilians' cars getting blown up and all that kind of stuff. I was like, well, I didn't want to see that, but I saw it. Well, the Syrian Civil War, I mean, it's crazy. They made some cool technicals, though. I'll give them that. 7. I'm gonna leave the door off. Ooh, excuse me. Probably just leave the door off like that. You just have an opening into the hangar. That should be fine. The first online war. Yeah, it's been broadcasted pretty heavily, which is pretty crazy. Thank you. Yeah, it's just kind of crazy because like we're just gonna see these conflicts more and more, you know, published live, which is interesting to see, but also just like absolutely terrifying to actually watch these conflicts and see it. see it firsthand, you know, instead of seeing the cherry-picked bits from like the media and all that, and you know, the censored bits. Like, you can see the uncensored stuff of like just craziness. Like, I know there was a few clips I saw of like, you know, civilians in the car just getting like shot up and all that by like a Russian, like, you know, BMP or whatever. And like the one person survives, and like the cameraman, and they're like getting out of the car, but like it's just, yeah. I think also the one of the biggest things that's like really frustrated me is like the use of drones in the conflict. Like, it's just been kind of disgusting how they've used drones a little bit to a certain extent, like, you know, killing unarmed guys and guys that try to surrender. And I mean, it's both sides doing it. I'm not saying any side is better than the other in terms of that, but like, man, it's just kind of sad, you know. That was pretty cool. I love this design here with like using the coral for like netting. I just love that. I think it looks so clean. I feel like this landing pad is just like so small for a Seahawk, but I guess it should fit there just fine. So I guess I'll just have to wait and see on that. But anyways, right there, I think I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream. Probably gonna get ready to go eat dinner, and been streaming for quite a while here, so probably go ahead and take off for the night there. But yeah, got some really cool, got some really good work done on this thing. This whole back section's almost done, so you know, should be cooking along more, and hopefully have some more updates here in the near future. But yeah, other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out in the stream and being around. And you know, if you haven't already, make sure to go check out the Oliver Hazard Perry. It was a pretty cool build and a lot of fun. 2 cars which are hit by a BTR and Obelisk. Yeah, I think I've seen that one. It's pretty wild. But yeah, r/combat footage, absolute wild place to go see some combat footage. So anyways, so guys, you have a good night. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and I will see you guys next time.